Good morning, one and all. This is warm welcome to all FRBSC B Group students. I am Dr. Ramnath Andale, Assistant Professor in Department of Zoology, KIT at BH Commerce and AM Science College, well-known KTGM College, Nasik. I and my colleague Dr. Evle, which deals with the paper first in zoology as a animal diversity first. Paper first. Today we will discuss about chapter number first, principle and classification, and today's topic of discussion is taxonomy. Before this initiation of taxonomy part, we just go through the basic information and introductory part of zoology course, and then we initiate the taxonomy part. In CBCS pattern of 2019, the course design in zoology is 3 courses is allotted for the semester first. ZO11 Animal Diversity first. It is allotted the 2 credit, 30 lecture. Same like to the second course ZO112 Animal Ecology. It is same 2 credit and 30 lecture. And the third course there is a practical course ZO113 Zoology Practical Paper. It is allotted the 1 credit. Each course is allotted the 50 marks, and this 50 marks is divided into 2 parts. The 15 marks for the internal assessment and the 35 marks for the external assessment. In internal assessment, you are presenting your project, your internal exam, and internal assessment is conducted in the internal. Out of 15 marks you get it, and finally you have the university exam of 35 marks, and finally you get score with out of 50 marks. Similar like to the semester second, again 3 courses allotted by semester second, and the 2 theory part and 1 is practical. It is always available in the online. The first sentence is to come across, we need to clarify the why learn the animal diversity first. These are the few objectives to learning phase. I would like to the first, we are all know to understand the animal diversity in around us. In around we are seeing the many number of smaller animals, and we need to understand this diversity of animals. Second, to understand underlying the principle of classification of different animals. Then we need to the classification, that means we need to the different terminology, we understand the terminology of classification. Then we also understand the differences and similarity found in the various aspects of the animal classification. Then we classify the invertebrate and to understand the possible group of invertebrates observed in the nature. First we understand the class of invertebrates, and then we observe the different animals around us in natural environment. Last parameter, to understand the role as a caretaker or promoter of animal life. As like here is the very important this slide, because this slide is explain the your role, the student role in nature. After you learn take the knowledge of animal diversity first, what can you do? The first thing, what can you achieve by this learn the animal diversity first? The first thing, you learning the different animal life cycle, animals and classification, silent feature, etc. Then you inculcate the few habitat I would like to observe them and understanding the life of animal. Third, act as a, or you play the role as a protector of animals. Then you also play the role as a preserver for animals. And last, you act as a promoter of animal life. These are the 5 roles is very important to understand the animal diversity. Then we just quickly go through the syllabus of animal diversity first. In syllabus, which part I take it and which part take my colleague. We will discuss in syllabus part. So chapter 9 first, there is a principles and classification of taxonomy and systematics. In the taxonomy part, we learn the basic terminology, introduction, then level of taxonomy, then type of taxonomy, and economic importances of the taxonomy. This part I deals with you, and the second half part of the systematics. The systematics part is conducted by Dr. Euler. The same, then introduction, then 6 classifications, then concept of the evolutionary and biological species, then binomial nomenclature, and 5 kingdom classification. Chapter number 2. This is a very small topic, gender feature of kingdom Animalia. In that we learn the gender characteristics of kingdom Animalia, then grade of organization, then symmetry. Then chapter 3rd. This chapter 3rd is again deals with the Dr. kingdom Protista in phylum Protozoa. Here again introduction of silent feature, classification up to class level, then locomotion of animals. Then in that also learn some words referred as a paramecia. In that classification, habit, external morphology, feeding and digestion, excretion, reproduction, and economic importances. In that we learn the 3 examples as a harmful protozoa and 1 example as a useful protozoa. Then the next chapter, the chapter 4 is the origin of metazoa. This origin of metazoa I take this part for you as an introduction, origin and importance of metazoan animals. In chapter number 5 also I take it the chapter number 5, phylum Porifera. Again in that we learn the introductory part of phylum Porifera, silent feature of porifera animals, then classification to class level, then canal systems of these animals, then skeletons found in that sponges or the porifera animals, then regeneration and economic importance of the porifera animals. Then chapter number 6 also deals with the Dr. phylum Nidaria. Again same lineup, introduction, silent feature, classification to class level, polymorphism and economic importance. And last chapter, the phylum Platyhelminthes also deals with the phylum Platyhelminthes. In that also we learn the introductory part of phylum Platyhelminthes, silent features, then classification to class level, then modification or parasitic adaptation of the Platyhelminthes animals, then economic importance. These are the 7 chapters including animal diversity up to phylum Platyhelminthes we learn in this semester. Then we initiate the very simple introductory part as like to the introduction of animal world. In animal world, we take the name of animal world, then immediately in our mind there comes some question. The first question, what is the exact number of animals? This question's answer is unanswerable because till today the new species are discovered and addition to the new to the science is inculcated in the science, and therefore the exact number till today they are unknown because every day the scientists they discover the new species. Same like in your area, you also have the opportunity to discover the new species of animal. Then second question is come across. We see the number of animals in around us. That means how to identify and classify them. And that's part we learn in our animal diversity first syllabus up to the platinum phylum. Then next, how their nomenclature. Also we learn the nomenclature system of animals. Then the next part we also next question is come across in mind how to detect the lower and higher animal fauna. Those animals have the notochord is absent in that animal. That animal is known as a lower animal fauna, and those animals have the presence of the notochord and vertebral column. This is known as the higher animal fauna. Here the pictorial presentation is seen in front of you. These are all animals are the lower phylum of animal fauna because in that animal notochord is absent. Here another pictorial presentation in front of you. These are the all animals in around earth. These are the higher animals because the presence of the notochord. Then we initiate the terms or a part of taxonomy. Firstly, we go through the definition of taxonomy. Taxonomy is a branch of biology which deals with identification, nomenclature, and classification of all organisms. Here, the three terminology is belong to the taxonomy part. First one is identification. Identification, that means organism is a place in previously known group or the new groups. This is a known priority to identification. Second, if these are the new, then we want to the naming of that organism. And third one, classification. We arrange the organism into group or specific class. For example, in the library we have the 10,000 or many number of books, but each books have put in the specific cupboard. Right? Economics, botany, zoology, chemistry. Each book is put in the specific cupboard. Same like the animal is arranged in the specific groups. Here we just go to the some historical part of the taxonomy. You know that in the life there is present of the viruses, bacteria, fungi, plant, animals, and these all big groups. The very first try to classify them, sorting them by the first scientist. This is Aristotle. Aristotle is the first man who tried to classify the animals in before 2000 years ago, and he divided the two parts, plant and animal. Then afterwards another man is come. There is a Carl Linnaeus. In the Carl Linnaeus, this is a modern botanist in 18th century, and he invented the system of classification, and this system is used in the till today. He also invented the binomial nomenclature. Then we also just learn about the different basic terminology is important for the taxonomy. So in that first is the taxon. Taxon, a population organism that has been make the group together by taxonomists. Base level of taxonomy hierarchy is a species, is one of the taxonomy groups. Then next terminology, taxonomic rank. The level of group of organism in the taxonomic hierarchy, this is known as a taxonomic rank. Then this is whose and other researcher organisms are classified into the three domains. The first one archaea, bacteria, eukarya. In next slide we are see that there is a tree of life is divided into the three domains. Here the blue colors, these are the bacterial group, then red color, this is archaean groups, and the green color, these are the eukaryotes. These are the three domains of life. Then next terminology is the holotype. Holotype is any, suppose that I collect the new species, and this discovered as a new to science, and I published this information in the reputed journal, and this specimen deposited in the any specific museum. That first specimen is known as a holotype. Then isolated. And the same, there are a duplicate specimen I have collect the same time and same person and same locality. This is the isotype. Then what is this lectotype? Lectotype is a specimen, the original material, but no holotype. It is generated at time of publication. Then next terminology, there is a neotype. Neotype is a specimen that is selected, so a single type specimen, but the holotype is lost or disturbed. That time we give the nomenclature of that specimen is known as a neotype. That means already the one specimen is published, but specimen is not found in the museum, and the new scientist is this collect this specimen and put in that place. This is known as a neotype. Then syntype are specimen. There is type series of collective constituent name bearing types. This may be exclusively generated syntype. Then haplotype. Haplotype, it is a haplotype, that is there is any organism need to culture and they design the culture of species group is known as a haplotype, and this type of specimen found in the Northeastern groups. Then tautonyms. Tautonyms is the same wording of the some genus or groups. This is known as a tautonyms. Same group or include the species or subspecies. Then paratypes. The paratype, that means this specimen of type series other than holotype is known as a paratype. Then type locality, any species or subspecies are connected with a special locality is known as a type locality. Then the next parameter is a taxonomic hierarchy. Each successive taxon is classified into a broad set of the characters. This is known as a taxonomic hierarchy. For example, domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. This is a higher to lower. And here is a simple phenomena. There is a memorize the whole things like in the simple sentence. Damu kaka पाण्याची care on for good sound. Then what is the kingdom? Kingdom is the highest taxonomic. Then phylum, it is a more specific than kingdom. Then class it is a more specific than phylum. Order it is again more specific than class. And family, it is a more specific than order. The genus, it is more specific than family. And the species is a more specific major taxonomic rank. That means specificity is increases from the domain to species. Here the car Linnaeus is discovered the 1758 in 10th edition of System of Nature. They use some kingdom, classification, order, genus, species and variety. But now nowadays there is modern classification, the addition of the new terminology, superclass, intraclass, superorders or family types, etc. etc. Then the binomial nomenclature. The binomial nomenclature is the two parts naming species. Binomial nomenclature includes the genus and species. For example, human being. The scientific name of human being is the Homo sapien. Homo sapien, that means Homo is the word indicated by the genus name, and the species sapiens is the name indicated by the species. Also, the binomial nomenclature has some rules. The first rule in binomial nomenclature, the scientific name should be right in the italic. If you write by handwritten, then you need to underline these scientific words, scientific names. Then genus is always initially the capitalized and may be abbreviated in the repeated manner. But species name is neither capitalized and nor abbreviated in the characters or in single information. Here we take the one example. The Pantheres, there is this how to that initiated the group. Here we start from the domain. This Panthera include the domain as a eukarya, then it belongs to kingdom Animalia, it belongs to phylum Chordata, it belongs to class Mammalia, it belongs to order Carnivora, then family Felidae, genus Panthera, and species. Here we see that the domain to species, the specificity is increased. This is one example related taxonomic rank of animal classification. As the taxonomy, we start from the domain to species. Okay, these are the very simple information we learned today, the taxonomy part and the basic terminology of taxonomy. Then I also suggest that you stay home, stay safe, and thank you, and visit again this lecture. Okay, thank you.